You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz. For great radio, get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Hey, it's Ian Ballinger from the Free Stater here on the Lanterns Radio Network. Now, most people listen to the show when it goes up every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time on Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, or even on your iPhone podcast app. But you can also listen to the show over at lanterns.buzz. That's lanterns.buzz, where the show plays on replay every weekday and weekend at 11 a.m. Central Time. Every day throughout the week, you can listen to the replay of the show on the lanterns.buzz radio stream. Aha! 11 a.m. Central Time and 3 a.m. in the morning. Just fantastic times. If you're driving out late, you can listen to the show. And if you're waking up in the morning, driving to work, going to lunch during work, whatever, show's available for you to listen to right there on replay. That's lanterns.buzz. And while you're over there, I encourage you to check out some of the other great shows that the Lanterns Radio Network has to offer. You've got Bells of Liberty, Todd Huff Radio, Battle for Freedom, Patriot Politics, Defenders of American Exceptionalism, The HoloNet, Fires of Liberty, Battlefield Live, The Conservative Syndicate, and many other special programs. You may have heard back during CPAC even, they did a huge live stream, continuous coverage of CPAC. Go to lanterns.buzz for great content. We're here to fix the machine. Lanterns.buzz. The world's gone mad. This is the Free Stater. True conservatism, constitutionalism, may be in the minority now when it comes to the dialogue on political affiliation, but that doesn't mean we stop fighting. We fight for principles over party, values over politicians, and truth over feelings. You've entered a state of freedom. This is the Free Stater. I've had a show here on the Lanterns Radio Network since about February, I think. It was a couple weeks after the inauguration. The person who gave me that opportunity, the person who gave me the opportunity to have a voice on this network was Freedom's disciple, Jonathan Dunn. That's the name of his show over at The Blaze. Freedom's disciple. A man from Ireland whose dream has always been to get to America. I just learned last weekend that dream may not come to reality. I want to share a video with you from my friend, my brother in Christ, Jonathan Dunn.
Hello, America. How are you? It's Thursday night in Ireland. It's about 6 o'clock on the East Coast, I think. And I've been very quiet for the last couple of days, and I got some devastating news yesterday, and I wanted to share it with you. Apologies if I don't sound the best, or I'm not in the best frame of mind, but I wanted to share it with you. I've always been an open book with you. I've always done what I thought was best. I've always had your best intentions at heart. Whether you like my politics or not, or whether you've agreed with me or disagreed with me, I think, or I hope, that you've always felt I loved your country, your history, your philosophy. I've made no secret of it. And I've made no secret about how much I wanted to join your nation. I've loved your nation for 25 years. And I always saw a path there. I always saw a path to get there. I always knew it was going to be an uphill struggle. But I thought, doing what I do for free, no money ever passed, changed hands, doing what I do, helping others, that somewhere, sometime, someone would just see me and go, John, I like you. I see potential in you. You can do it. I thought maybe someday someone would offer me a job and all my dreams would come true and I'd get to go home. Well, it's been an up and down year. If you've seen my posts, I apologise for crying. It's been a tough year. There's been a lot of ups and downs, and I've tried to sort myself out. Try to get my mental capacity right, see where I can contribute. And well, my dreams came true. It's kind of obvious who my dream job was. I've made no secret of it. My dream job came to me. I had a couple of months ago, you might remember, I put up a picture on Facebook where I signed something. That was a job offer. I thought, finally things have happened. 25-year love affair, trying to do things the right way, and 13 years later, my dreams have come true. Yesterday we had our meeting with the immigration attorney. It was myself, the immigration attorney, and a HR person. What are the next steps? I have the job, now I get the visa. And they had loads of questions and we went through everything. Long story short, it isn't happening. There's no visa I can apply for. The popular visa you've all heard about, it's been in the news all the time, was the one everyone always goes for, the H-1B visa. But I don't have the degree, I don't have the experience, and the job that was offered doesn't meet the criteria. But there are other visas. There are other visas, but none of them are good. We went through the O visa. She asked me all the questions. She did research on me, and O visa is a performance visa. And there was a Q visa. No joy. So long story short, I had to turn down the job. And it was hard. It's life. I don't want to dwell on this. If you comment and watch this visa, please don't put come illegal. I'd never do that. I'd never, ever, ever disrespect the country I love so much. But I want to thank you for your prayers. The outpouring has been Thank you for your prayers and your messages of support and your kind words. I don't know what the future holds. I just know I won't be in America. The dream I've had all my life, been in America, is over. I don't want to sound bitter. I don't want to sound... It's not me. Today was the first day of my new life. And I'm going to take some time out. I apologise for being selfish or for letting people down if they think I'm doing that. I'm going to take some time out. I need to refocus my head. And quite honestly, I need to find out where I'm going and what I'm going to do. Because I don't know. All my adult life, I just had one goal, a single focus. I want to get to America and serve. I do want you to know one thing, though. While I don't know what the future holds or where we'll be, my love for your country will not end. I will do everything I can to continue to serve your nation from afar. Because regardless of your politics, regardless of whether you agree with me or not, whether you hate me or love me, the message is still the same. God and freedom must win this war. The chips may be down and I may be hurt and I need to go lick my wounds, and that's what I'll do. But the battle continues. We face so many obstacles, but we have so much opportunities in front of us. I want to thank you one last time for all your love and support. Your prayers meant so much to me last night, and I thank you. I will see you soon, and I will always link arms with you great Americans. And tonight I finish by finishing the same way I always do, and I beg you to always believe me. America is great. It's a great, great country, but it's great because of each and every one of you. If you get nothing else from this video, please remember that. You are still the shining city on a hill. And you are still the standard for the rest of the world. You have so much potential. Please see that in yourself. Please heal. And please show the rest of the world how bright a future it can be if we all embrace freedom and embrace God-given rights. Good night, America. I'll see you soon. God bless.
That's only the second time I've listened to that video all the way through. Again, that's from Jonathan Dunn, a good friend of mine. He gave me this opportunity here at Lanterns. Last week was unfortunately his last week with the Lanterns Media Network. It is worth noting, however, that he has left Lanterns in very strong, very capable, very principled hands. That video is incredibly hard for me to get through because every time I watch it, I've taken my citizenship of this country for granted throughout my life, I think. And I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I do feel like a lot of people in my generation don't understand how lucky, how blessed we are to be American, or to have been born in America. We're giving amnesty to people who came here illegally, who don't respect our country and come here illegally. But I can't think of any. I can't think of anyone from a foreign country that deserves to be here more than Jonathan Dunn. And our system says no? That's unbelievable to me. It leaves me speechless. Wow. Heartbreaking. It really is. I don't know what else to say. It's heartbreaking. I can't think of any other foreign citizen, of another person from another country that wants to be an American, that deserves to be an American more than Jonathan Dunn. And our system says, no, I don't find that acceptable. I don't find that fair, considering all of the illegal immigrants that don't respect our system and have broken the law, that we've just allowed to come in. And then here's a man who loves America more than a lot of Americans love America. And they won't let him in. It makes no sense to me. So, please keep Jonathan Dunn in your prayers. Please keep him in your prayers. And on top of that, I feel like this is a good transition point. Keep America in general in your prayers. And I know that sounds like such a generic thing to say, but considering the state that we're in right now, how divided we are right now. Oh, Ian, you talk about how divided we are every week. It's because every week there's a new example of how divided we are. I don't understand. I don't understand how people can't see the hatred and venom coming not only from the left, but from the right too. But we'll start with the left. Caught on tape. A story just from today. Caught on tape. Democratic official says he's glad Scalise got shot. Phil Montang, now former co-chair of Nebraska State Party's Technology Committee, was recorded saying he wishes Scalise was dead. His whole job is to get people, convince Republicans to kick people off healthcare. I'm glad he got shot. I wish he were expletive dead. The audio was posted on YouTube. Nebraska Democratic Chairwoman Jane Kleeb confirmed to Fox 42 that the voice in the recording was in fact Montag's. Now, Kleeb says that we obviously condemn any kind of violence, whether it's comments on Facebook or comments in a meeting. Our country is better than the political rhetoric that is out there from both the far right and the far left. Thank you, Kleeb, for condemning what he said. But at the same time, I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't widen the divide that we've already seen, that we already see. in America today. But that's really hard to do because forces all around us want that divide to be widened, want the other side to just shut up or die, like Montag does. The left, I find it harder and harder to believe that the violence and the anger and the advocacy for violence on the left, I find it hard to believe that that is more isolated and fringe. Now, I totally believe that it is a mainstream movement within the modern day left. Montag says that. Well, then an LGBT group bans police from their parade over the Castile verdict. Twin Cities Pride, a Minneapolis LGBT group, decided to ban the city's uniformed police officers from participating in its annual Unity Parade Sunday. How ironic is that? Unity Parade. But these people aren't interested in unity. Now, are they? But then at the same time, I find myself having a hard time believing that people on the right, at least a portion of our right-wing brethren, are interested in unity and healing that divide either. Laura Loomer from Rebel Media, storming the stage at the Shakespeare in the Park event in New York. Julius Caesar. And it's worth noting, I like Rebel Media. Ezra Levant, Gavin McInnes, Lauren Southern. I don't know if she's actually with the Rebel. I could be wrong. Anyway, I think they're all funny people. I think they're all good at what they do. But you can't, if you claim to be conservative, you can't advocate against another person's speech. In Act 3, Scene 1, as Caesar was stabbed, Loomer started a Periscope video on her phone and strode toward the stage. "Stop the normalization of political violence against the right," she shouted. A few members of the cast, this excerpt from the New Yorker, by the way, a few members of the cast, prop knives in hand, broke character and walked toward her. "We're not promoting it," one actress said. "This is Julius Caesar." "Shame on the New York Public Theater for doing this," Loomer continued. "You guys are ISIS. CNN is ISIS. Goebbels would be proud," shouted her friend and fellow Trump supporter Jack Posobiec. You know, I always pronounce somebody's name wrong on this show. I'm sure I pronounced his name wrong. I don't care. Anyway, I don't care because it's snowflakeism. It's hypocrisy. The left does this at college campuses where they'll shut down and they'll chant safety and chant "you're a Nazi" at free speech events and where right-wing speakers are speaking at college campuses. And then we'll call them snowflakes. We'll call them SJWs. But then when we do it, and I say we as in the right wing because I do not condone or advocate for this kind of behavior in the slightest. When people on the right do this, they justify themselves in that this is defending ourselves against violent advocacy. Well, the left thinks they're doing that when they storm college campus stages, when they try to silence Ben Shapiro, Milo, Steven Crowder, David French. What's the difference? What's the difference? as the Daily Wire reported, when Ben Shapiro wrote in the Daily Wire, this idiotic snowflakeism was promoted widely among right-wingers. It's disgusting. It's unjustifiable, and it's no different than when protesters stormed the stage at my speeches at University of Wisconsin, or attempt to block me at California State University at Los Angeles, or chant Charles Murray into submission at Middlebury, or block Allie from speaking on campuses, or invade Heather McDonald's events. The minute you equate speech with violence and attempt to forcibly shut it down, you're a snowflake. End of story. And you know what? As good as it feels, as much as you may want to see the left squirm and treat the left the way they treat us, because it feels good, it's not right. And that statement from Ben Shapiro is absolutely right.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz. For great radio, get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Hey, it's Ian Ballinger from the Free Stater here on the Lanterns Radio Network. Now, most people listen to the show when it goes up every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time on Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, or even on your iPhone podcast app. But you can also listen to the show over at lanterns.buzz. That's lanterns.buzz, where the show plays on replay every weekday and weekend at 11 a.m. Central Time. Every day throughout the week, you can listen to the replay of the show on the lanterns.buzz radio stream. Aha! 11 a.m. Central Time and 3 a.m. in the morning. Just fantastic times. If you're driving out late, you can listen to the show. And if you're waking up in the morning, driving to work, going to lunch during work, whatever, show's available for you to listen to right there on replay. That's lanterns.buzz. And while you're over there, I encourage you to check out some of the other great shows that the Lanterns Radio Network has to offer. You've got Bells of Liberty, Todd Huff Radio, Battle for Freedom, Patriot Politics, Defenders of American Exceptionalism, The HoloNet, Fires of Liberty, Battlefield Live, The Conservative Syndicate, and many other special programs. You may have heard back during CPAC even, they did a huge live stream, continuous coverage of CPAC. Go to lanterns.buzz for great content. We're here to fix the machine. Lanterns.buzz.
Welcome, Kmart shoppers. Kmart has low discount prescription prices. Visit our pharmacist today and compare our prices to what you're presently paying elsewhere.
You'll be glad you did.
More coverage of the Laura Loomer stage storming via Daily Caller. Peter Hasson is the author of this article, and he does a good job laying out what exactly happened. Not even was it, I don't even know if it was a week ago. I mean, this is just recent. The domain for a fundraising site set up for the activist who was arrested after protesting a Julius Caesar play in New York City last Friday, so a week ago today, was set up hours before she ever interrupted the performance. Laura Loomer, who works for right-wing Canadian news outlet The Rebel, objected to Caesar's close resemblance in the play to President Donald Trump. Let's unquote for a second. So this rendition of the Caesar play, as I understand it, took a more modernistic approach. A lot of plays do this. Macbeth does modernizations. That's besides the point. It shouldn't matter. if a play bothers you that much, you are a snowflake. So anyway, Laura Loomer, who works for right-wing Canadian news outlet The Rebel, objected to Caesar's close resemblance in the play to President Donald Trump. She rushed the stage and said this is violence against the right. You heard about it in the last segment. Anyway, let's move on. 2 web pages have been set up to raise money needed to pay Loomer's $1,000 bail fee and other unspecified legal fees. One page on WeSearcher, a crowdfunding site that keeps 15% of donations, has raised more than $10,000 for Loomer. Another fundraising page is at freelaura.com, which redirects to the Rebel's website, where donors can give money through PayPal. Ezra Levant, editor-in-chief of The Rebel, registered freelaura.com hours before Laura took the stage, hours before Loomer's stunt, according to the website's Who Is information. It's unclear how much money the Rebel has taken in through freelaura.com. Levant did not reply to questions from the Daily Caller sent via email. The site does state that any donations to Loomer's cause are not tax deductible. Many on the right were critical of Loomer's interruption, comparing her to leftist protesters who try to keep conservatives from speaking. Fox and Friends host Brian Kilmeade criticized Loomer on Monday for interrupting the play. Let the play go on, he said. I don't think you should be rushing the stage, whether you agree or not, period. You don't like the play? Protest outside, but not once it starts. These are just actors doing their job, and conservative commentator Ben Shapiro said if the right cheers and accepts this kind of stupid, juvenile hooliganism as a legitimate tactic in the political fight, they have no leg to stand on when it comes to defending free speech on campus or anywhere else from the leftist snowflakes who threaten it. No, this Julius Caesar play was not advocating for violence against the right. We cannot, as the right, play the victim. Are there actual leftists advocating for violence against the right? Yes. Not in this instance. Not in this instance. You may not like the play. The play might be a really crappy rendition of Julius Caesar. But you don't get to rush the stage and silence it because you don't like it. You do that, you are not espousing conservative principles, and you are a snowflake. Oh, my principles. That's what that's what the right wing, that's especially the alt-right, will say to try to delegitimize anyone on the right who says we need principles over party, we need principles over Trump, we need principles over action. You do not stay rooted in your principles. You're only fighting for victory. What victory are we fighting for without principles? So, last segment I said I respect the Rebel media. That respect goes down just a little when they publish a video of one of their poster boys, Gavin McInnes, who I like. I think he's a funny guy. Just kind of feel like his credibility within the conservative movement goes down when he says something like this.
Laura Loomer, bum rush to the show at the Shakespeare in the Park thing, where I believe New York taxpayers pay $30 million. So a play can charge money for tickets and they can watch their president get eviscerated, which of course the rich liberals at this thing love. They cheer and scream. Can you imagine if it was Muhammad or someone else getting murdered on stage? But anyway, conservatives have had enough of this constant abuse because it normalizes violent behavior, and we end up with dead politicians getting shot. We end up with dead cops when you say pigs in a blanket. Now, we don't want you censored, but we're not going to let you walk all over us. Do you have the footage of Laura?
I'm sorry. I can't. It's so hypocritical. From a guy that is normally an incredibly smart, incredibly well-researched man. I don't understand how you can do a complete flip-flop in 180. You know how stupid people back in the 80s and 90s and even the early 2000s who said, video games normalize violence. It is video games that are killing our children. And then you had people on the right. Actually, to be honest, it was actually people on the right, a lot of people on the right, saying that it's video games that are causing violence. But people used common sense and said, actually, no, it's not the video games. Now, yeah, it can desensitize you, but people make their own decisions. And then, as we said in the last segment, you can't say that this speech normalizes violence to try to legitimize silencing somebody else's speech when the left uses that exact same argument when they try to silence our speech. Go ahead. Let's continue.
Running out on stage.
So he's showing a video there of Laura rushing the stage. And the Proud Boy, I guess Proud Boys did it too.
It's cooler when Chuck D says it, isn't it? So Laura did that. Blood is on your hands. And then on Sunday, our boys Jovi Val and Sal Cipolla went down there, and they did the same thing. Have you got that footage? Which one is this? This is Sal getting there. He's very sprightly for a big...
It looks so pathetic. They're glorifying this on the video, but you watch the video, it's so pathetic looking. And it completely delegitimizes you when the other half of the time you're advocating for free speech. No, these people weren't calling for the death of Donald Trump. These people weren't... And I love the comments in this because there are a lot of people on the right wing that are like, no, we're not having any of this. Some of the comments here over on the Rebels YouTube channel. Okay, so we're being hypocrites and stooping to their low. To be honest, it's embarrassing. This other comment. These idiots don't even understand theater. Caesar is the hero of Julius Caesar. His assassination marks a time of strife for the Republic and the downfall of the traitors. Another comment. Right-wing snowflakes. Gavin, remember what it was like to be shut down? And then they quote him in this video, this guy. Great comments, really insightful, actually generating discussion and not just acting like a snowflake when you hear something you don't like. Quote, the left are using free speech as a pretext to incite violence. And then this guy, oh, come off it. This is exactly the claim parroted by leftists to justify shutting down conservative speakers like Milo and Ben. I found the play as horrible and distasteful as the next guy, but having a protest outside the venue rather than storming the stage like a kid throwing a tantrum. It's just a play. This guy, and as much as it hurts to say this, I kind of agree with him. These people aren't conservative, they're hypocrites. The moment you decide to undermine your principles is the moment you lose credibility in your argument. It is so scary to see that the right has the potential to become the very thing that they despise. I even commented, to be honest, I said, I'm incredibly disappointed. We're not social justice warriors. This isn't the behavior of a constitutionalist. And then some other comments on the video. Tom, this comment, Proud Boys is proving to be just as cringy as social justice warriors. Oh, they're defending themselves. Horse crap. You want this? You aren't conservative if you're okay with this. I'm starting to see what people like Ben Shapiro and Glenn Beck are saying. This doesn't help the conservative case. You make us all look like whiny right-wing snowflakes. Another one. Watch Gavin try to backtrack on this since everyone's grilling him on it. And to Gavin's credit, he didn't backtrack on it. In fact, he doubled down, which made me lose even more respect for him. This was something you'd see in a wrecked feminist compilation on YouTube, this one commenter said. If he used an expletive, but we can't use that on here. If dumb people of any party want to protest, fine by me. Don't interrupt a show. This is exactly the type of stuff we cry about when the left does it. Stop being snowflakes.
Which one is this? This is Sal getting there. He's very sprightly for a big guy. And then I like this guy in the red staff shirt. Boom.
And it shows the Proud Boy guy or whatever, the right-wing guy storming the stage, knocking over one of the staff people or security guards or whoever it was.
He hurt himself.
And then let's do Jovi now. Jovi was a little earlier, I believe. And the cops, when they take them aside, they go, are there going to be any more of these? I believe Laura said yes on Friday, and she was right. This is much earlier in the day, I guess. Look at that. Look at that gate. So, that's enough. We have these three people with us here today at the Rebel, Laura, Sal, and Jovi. Now, Laura, let's just jump right into the criticism.
Of course, they have their Make America Great Again hats on, even though this kind of action doesn't do anything but widen the chasm between the two political sides in America, but okay.
Criticism we are getting, and I say we because I'm on your side, from the right, where they say, look, you guys purport to be about free speech. You're acting like social justice warriors by shutting down speech you don't like.
Well, first of all, we didn't shut down the speech. It was merely an interruption for about 25 seconds, right? So,
because you were escorted off the stage, how long would you have been there if they let you stay? I'll give it to you. When the right is protested, especially if you watch Ben Shapiro's videos when he's protested, he doesn't demand that the leftists be kicked out. He usually tries to engage with them in conversation. But that's not what we're doing here, Miss Loomer.
So, we didn't shut it down with fire and violence and profanity like Black Lives Matter and Antifa do.
That doesn't make what you did right or constitutional.
And secondly, this is my constitutional right to exercise my free speech and my right to protest, to condemn political violence against conservatives. The left, along with the complicit liberal mainstream media, are using free speech and, I guess you could say, creative expression as a pretext to inciting violence against the right.
But as we've established earlier, it's not inciting violence against the right. They can spin it any way. It's not inciting violence against the right. I'm on the right. I despise feminism. I despise social justice warriors. I despise cultural Marxism. Just as much as the next guy on the right. This play was not advocating for violence against the right. There are so many other things that advocate for violence against the right, and we'll get to that. I have several articles up from lanterns.buzz. We'll get to those in a second. It's just a pathetic justification.
Voting the assassination.
I'm sorry. I can't stand it. We are not the victim. We can't play the victim.
Of Donald Trump.
Yeah, in a really gory, drawn-out way, too. And it's black people and women attacking Donald Trump. Blood is all over him. The guy's drenched in blood. You couldn't imagine this with any other president or any other liberal figure.
Yeah.
Sal, we were at NYU together. I did a talk, and we were attacked, pepper sprayed.
Sure.
And you fought back. You ended up arrested as you were here. Isn't it funny how we're deemed the violent ones when all we do is try to defend ourselves?
We do defend ourselves. With this event in particular, I find it especially hysterical that I just walked up onto stage. That's all I did. I didn't call in a bomb threat. I didn't set off any explosives. I wasn't planning anything crazy. Just wanted to interrupt something that my tax dollars were going towards.
Yeah, Yes, and you did. You did a great job. You're very sprightly on those legs. You had a nice...
Not bad for a fat guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jovi, when you were out there, what was it like after you were arrested? Were the cops cool with you, or?
Oh yeah, like these guys know, like, you know, we're out there chanting Blue Lives Matter, and you know we want to protect our police. And when they have this play that, you know, just like harmonizes assassinating a president, it just makes you think, like, if they want to assassinate the president, don't they also want to assassinate these political figures like Scalise? You know, like, how are you going to have this play right after the Scalise shooting? This man's in critical condition, serious condition, and it's just like they're still carrying on this play. They're still laughing about it, smiling.
See, that's an advocacy for censorship. We're supposed to be the ones that are anti-censorship.
You know, they're bringing
it's absolute insanity. You don't have to like the play, but you don't get to stop it just because you don't like it. That is snowflakery.
Their kids to this, and then the police look at me and they're just like, you know, I'm on your side. I know what you did. I know why you did it. Is there anybody else that's going to be here tonight? And I did not want to ruin the chance of this guy having a shirt that says CNN is ISIS on stage. And I just said, you know what Laura Loomer did may inspire many others just like me. So I made it seem like I was just doing this.
Random kid, yeah, some paid protesters, they put it. But I think it's funny, too, that you say it's not just radical Antifa nuts anymore. That's CNN themselves.
Well, we didn't go there with
a
the bricks.
Article on what it would be like if Trump was assassinated.
Okay, we can't. We're not playing the compare and contrast game here. They're saying we weren't violent. Okay, that may be true. What you did may not have been to the severity of leftist pepper spraying conservatives in the eyes, or leftist pulling fire alarms, or trying to get conservatives arrested, or actually trying to kill conservatives by hitting them over the head with bricks or U-bars, as we saw in the Berkeley protests. Yes, it may not have been the severity, but we're supposed to be better than. Sinking to their level on principle is not acceptable within the conservative movement.
It was like what I said when I stormed the stage, right? Normalized left-wing political violence against the right.
Not at this play. In other instances, maybe, not at this play.
This has become mainstream. It's normalized. So the reason why none of the liberal media is...
And just because... Let's be clear, right? Even if it exists in other places, unless there's an actual call to action saying, take up arms, let's get a group together, and let's go kill us some Republicans, barring that, I can hate what they have to say, but they have every right to say it, unless they are actually saying, let's go get some pitchforks, let's go get some rifles, let's go get some guns. I don't even know if leftists know how to use guns, but that's besides the point right now. I don't understand. I don't recognize the right wing anymore.
Is criticizing this play is because, quite frankly, they're funding it. Yeah. Time Warner Cable, which is a parent company to CNN and the New York Times, two of the largest liberal outlets and publications in the world, and some of the most influential, that is, they're funding this play. So they are paying for people to delight in the assassination of President Trump. And Shakespeare once said that violent delights lead to violent ends. So when you're paying or using taxpayer money to let people, liberals, the bourgeois left, delight in the assassination of right-wing political representatives, government officials, you're creating a violent end, which is going to eventually be...
Except they were putting on a modernized play of a Shakespearean play. The justification that what they're using as justification for this doesn't make any sense. How anyone on the right could think, you know what, this is all right. It's beyond me.
Be either the shooting of a representative at a baseball game or the assassination.
Okay, that's enough. Okay, actual advocacy for violence against people on the right does not come from a play. Said it before, gonna say it again. If a play bothers you that much, you are a snowflake. Here's an actual incitement of violence. Johnny Depp, appearing in England yesterday. I think he needs help, and there are a lot of wonderful, dark, dark places he could go. Depp, noting in his comments, would be in the press, began discussing prior assassinations of presidents. When was the last time an actor assassinated a president? I want to clarify, I'm not an actor. However, it has been a while, and maybe it's time. There's something we should actually be concerned about. California banned state travel to Texas. 3 other states over anti-LGBT laws. The demonization of any dissenting views. North Carolina, Kansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, and now Texas. Can't travel there. California Attorney General blocks state-funded travel to Texas and those states in response to what he considers anti-LGBT laws enacted this year. That article over at lanterns.buzz. Be very careful choosing the hill you want to die on, right wing. I'm interested in constitutional principles. I'm interested in espousing those constitutional principles. I really thought conservatives were too. Hope this is an isolated incident. Hope we don't see anything else like this from the right. Thanks for listening. I'm Ian Ballinger. This is The Free Stater.
listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.